Here we are.
Good to see you.
Good to see you again. So, what are we doing today?
Let's just talk about life.
Got it. My name is Ignacio B. What I want to do in life is it's not yet inspire people, yet get people through what they're going through in life. In other words, I want to get you through your bullshit of life and have you see what's on the other side. So in other words, for you to discover what you cannot see.
My name is Ignacio. The word Ignacio comes from Latin ignis, which means to ignite, which means to basically start fire. So that's kind of my inspiration, is to ignite the inspiration that's in you, to discover who you truly are and find a way to live a life that's fulfilled and empowered. And I got the best buddy here to help us get it through it. We're just going to talk a little bit about life. If we get anywhere, see if we can discover the meaning.
That's it. The meaning
Maybe
of
not
life,
the
right?
meaning. Maybe
Or
not the meaning
what
yet.
we give meaning to.
What we give meaning
And I
to,
think
yeah.
that's the most, one of the most interesting in life is that we walk around giving meaning to every single phrases, actions, just about anything else. When we master that in life, and it somewhat empowers us, yet takes us out of power. You know, it all depends on what it is that we give meaning to. You know, we
Right.
walk around, if somebody gives you a finger,
Right.
and we give that son of a gun.
Right.
You know, and whatever BS that we're going through, we then put that all, and it all comes together as anger.
Well, let's talk about that subject in itself, power.
Yeah.
What is power?
Wow. It all depends on how you see it, and how do you see it.
I kind of see power as anything that you give importance to has power. Anything that you care about has power.
Yeah.
Any goals that you want to achieve has power. The way that you have an opinion about yourself or others, it's power. And how do you approach things from a world of feeling powerful in all those topics versus that has power over me? I don't have the strength to
Wow.
accomplish that.
I saw your Instagram this morning, and it talked about
Basically approaching people with intention, having everything that you do with an intention.
and I think that's what power is power for me. It's all about the intention of what you do, and not just what you do, but more than that. And when you have the desire, when you have the great intention and the well-being intention of others, that gives you power. So it's not just about you're taking on yourself and giving yourself power, but yet empowering others, that gives you the power. It's not like walk around with power, with my intention in mind. It's the
Right.
total actions that have you be empowered,
Right.
in giving away power.
It's even recently, I mean, life is a learning curve, right? And even though we feel like we have everything together, we're still not living perfectly, and we never will. And
No.
so lessons present themselves. So what I discovered recently is, although I live with intention in a lot of aspects of my life, some of the most important aspects of my life that are comfortable, where I think everything is under control, there's no rifts in it, it's consistent, those, I tend to just go with the flow, and I don't act with intention,
Wow.
right? But what I'm finding out is, even though I feel that way,
Yeah.
the impact on the other side is completely different than my experience.
Yeah, totally get
And
that.
they might not be going with the flow. They might be impacted in a way of neglect, or
Yeah, hello?
right?
Of
Right.
course. I mean, yeah, that's within relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, you experienced that with your last relationship.
Yeah.
Tell me more about that. What that impact of you being comfortable in being Ignacio.
Sure.
What was the impact on the other side, and what did you see?
Sure.
What shift?
So I spent all this time, empowered in my dreams, empowered in my goals, empowered in how I treat people, and especially in relationships. I tend to come from a perspective of, as long as you constantly are honest, you constantly tell somebody how much you appreciate them, you're constantly showing up in a verbal, emotional availability, that is the key to a good relationship.
Wow.
What I've discovered is that's not always the case.
Right?
So here I am, a man of words,
Yeah.
a man of complete transparency, but a man who lacks action.
Wow.
And great learning opportunity.
That's it. That's it.
Now I get the opportunity to start taking actions and have more focus on the intention that I have when interacting with people.
Got it. But what was the impact on her when you're being comfortable in who you are? What was?
Well,
what
I
do you
mean,
think was seen from the other side?
I can't speak for her directly, but in general, I find that it doesn't matter how comfortable you are with yourself. People's perspective of you is their perspective of themselves projected onto you.
Yeah.
Right. So
100%.
if I see you, one of the most powerful men that I know, physically, mentally, emotionally, I'm still listening to you as if you are me. Right.
Got it.
So I might not have, I might not be in a place of empowerment. So when I listen to you talk, I'm coming from all the weak spots that I have
Your
about myself,
perspective.
and that kind of seems like an impossibility, having that strength and having that power. So I listen to the weak spots in the topic reflected about myself.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. I mean, when you're talking about that in a sense, right, you truly get what it means when people walk around and they are constantly judging others in terms of you look fat, what the hell are you wearing, you don't look right. All of those judges is based on your own insecurities.
Yeah.
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 Very true.
I mean, the world works that way, right? So anything that you experience, you're experiencing from all these factors that have happened to you.
That's it.
All
That's
these
it.
little decisions that we made, all these stories that we made about who we are in the world and how the world works from our perspective. Your perspective of how the world works is completely different than mine.
Oh, completely, 100%. Yeah.
We find common ground in important topics, right? And,
Yeah.
and goals and the way that we want to help people and impact others' lives. We have a connection on that, which is, I believe, our perspectives are on the level.
Yeah.
But everything else is variables. Everything else is different, and it's a matter of opening up in communication to be able to listen to the perspective of others when communicating, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you're talking about communication within itself. I mean, we have a tendency to think that we communicate well, right? But is it received well?
Not always. I mean,
Not always, right?
I have a handful of people that tell me the way that I communicate is inspiring, and that if they could find a man who could communicate like me, their love life would be so great.
So be great.
Right? But then I have other people who are very close to me that say, I don't hear a word that you're saying. It's all, none of it matters. You're speaking generalities, whatever.
Got it.
That's not necessary. I speak in general terms that we can focus in on if you're willing to listen and participate. So are you willing to participate? Are you willing to give up?
So got it. So does that mean that people walk around thinking and interpreting other people with their own shit?
I actually had an experience recently. Someone who's very, very, very important to me. Been in my life since birth. I won't mention their name to keep their things private, but
I'm sure their things are private, but their name's private.
yeah, that too. We got both. So here I was discussing this new avenue that I want to go to of really focusing on being there for people, showing up for people, inspiring people if I can. I'm not saying that I have everything that you need to live a perfect life, but I do think that I have the tools to assist you in self-discovery. So I'm having this conversation and talking about my dream would be to write a couple books, get some books published, to do public speaking in front of crowds of 300 plus people.
Yeah.
And the response, so take, you listen to what I said in a certain way. The person who I was speaking to said, that's awesome that you chase your dreams. I can't remember the last time that I had a dream.
Wow.
And this person is in their 60s, late 50s.
Wow.
I can't remember the last time that I had a dream about myself. I said, well, what's that mean? You tell me that you don't have dreams.
Yeah.
And the answer was, I don't have dreams. I don't have goals.
But that brings us why we want to do what we want to do. Majority of the people in life walk around having no dreams. I think we lose our dreams when we get to like 25, 30. And we get into the rut of life, and our dreams then disappears.
The rut of life. So,
yeah.
So in further exploration, I asked, you have to have a dream. Whether it's a restaurant that you've never been to, but you always want to try. You can dream of eating at that restaurant if you have made a decision that it's an impossibility for yourself.
Right.
You can dream of doing something, taking a trip that you've never done, something like that.
Yeah.
And when I asked, why did you stop dreaming? It was because I've been let down so many times.
Wow.
So then, brings up a whole nother topic. Making your decisions based off fear and disappointment rather than the possibility of accomplishment and fulfillment.
That's it. That's it.
And somebody who is in their 60s, even though they've been focusing in the recent years of, you know, self-discovery, self-empowerment, they have to get rid of 50 years of disappointment.
Wow.
In order to see the clearing.
That's it. That's it.
To have what's available to them.
That's it.
Right?
In those years of losing all that dream, that's when you talk about that fear of whatever that was that he was going through in life. Like for him to actually see all of that and to allow him to dream again. Because he has to discover for himself what actually stops it.
So I said, well, what's important to you? What matters to you? My grandkids, my significant other, my kids. I live for other people. I said, okay.
Wow.
You get your enjoyment out of other people's enjoyment, but that's a fractional enjoyment.
That's
right?
it. That's it.
That's not a deep enjoyment. Like you enjoy that you helped somebody, and this is somebody who's inspired me my whole life.
Wow.
And so I took the opportunity. I was like, you have to understand that if you think that I have any sort of influence, wisdom, anything, I've gotten it from you. You were my role model in discovering that about myself, and they started laughing in disbelief, right? And I just took the opportunity to validate them and say, you have it in you to dream. You have it. And they took a couple steps back and they thought back to some moments in their life, and they're like, I guess I can see moments in my life where that's true. But imagine waking up every day and having that decision about yourself that dreams are an impossibility because of all the disappointment that you've had.
Yeah.
Now, what's lacking in that little triangle of fulfillment, dreams, and disappointment, for me, it was identity, authentic sense of self.
That's it.
Because when you have an authentic sense of self, your dreams don't waver. The circumstances of your dreams always change.
Yeah, got that.
How you achieve your dream or what that dream means to you will change the more you get to know your authentic self, right?
Wow. But there's so many layers of that. You know,
So
I had just put up a little post this morning and it talked about discipline your, what the hell was it? It was discipline your shit.
Shouldn't have taken that nap.
Yeah, I should have taken that nap. Discipline your motivation with action.
Yes.
Like, because we can always dream, and the dreams can sit there as a dream for a long period of time unless you actually take on the action to fulfill that dream. Like making a freaking plan to make it work.
Right.
But if you're just kind of sitting around dreaming, it just disappears.
Right.
But, you know, going back to the old, 60-year-old guy. God, you say 60, and I almost said that he's old. Yet he's still young, right?
So young.
So young.
Still got at least 20 to 30 years of living life. And
yeah, and you still have the ability to dream again.
I was awakened to my true dreams through my authentic self only a couple years ago, right? 3-4 years ago. And in that sense of time and fulfilling things, I came from a perspective of I have all the time. So let me approach things, right? And then I discovered how much I lied to myself.
I think we all do.
Oh, I lie to myself.
We all lie to ourselves, right? Right? We have forever to live.
No, so the lie is that I have these dreams and things that I want to accomplish, and they'll happen when it's right. Bullshit. Let me, like you said, let me get out of my own way and get over my bullshit. My bullshit was, it'll happen when it's gonna happen. Now, what is that? That's me giving all my power away to other circumstances.
That's it.
Right?
Let me grab that phone real quick. Do you want to grab that? Right there. But that's crazy because, you know, I've just read this morning a little, just hang it up. So I read this little, somebody had posted up this morning about, like, go to sleep, God is working on you. Like, I get that 100%. I know God is present in all our life. But you sleep and you're going to wake up, you're going to have the same shit you had before you went to sleep. It's not until you wake up and you actually do something to change your circumstances. God gave you a mind, God gave you the gifts of life, and God gave you all that you need. Your job is wake the hell up, find and discover what that is, and take action to make it work for yourself. If not, you'll wake up and you're still in the same shithole that you've been.
So exactly that.
Right?
Exactly that. So once I broke down the lie that I was telling myself of things will happen when they're supposed to happen, I realized I just gave all my power away to all these variables that may or may not exist.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Right.
I don't know what's out there. I don't know the path that's going to get me to accomplishing my dreams. All I know is that you have it, and every day you find little actions to take to get there. Now, in that moment, I had the opportunity to embrace the empowerment of this doesn't have to happen next year. This can happen next month. This can happen, I can get it started this week. And speaking to another person who listens from their own perspective, they said, why do you set such unrealistic goals? That's something, because I got into detail about where I want to be, the apartment I want to live in, the area of San Diego I want to live in, and it's well out of my means right now, well out of my means. However, I already see the pathway to get me there.
That's it.
And I had the time frame of this will happen within 2 years. So I changed my goal. I said I want to have it by 2020. We're in 2019. We're 3 months in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have it set, at least, I want to be signing that lease January 2020.
Wow.
Okay? And they said, you have unrealistic goals. Maybe you could do that in 5 years, but 1 year is impossible. Maybe they're right. Maybe I do it in 5 years. Maybe I never do it at all. But I firmly believe that my goals are realistic.
Of course they are.
And it's taking action to get it. And instead of saying it'll happen when it happened, I'm taking my power. I'm taking ownership of the lies that I've been telling myself and the inaction that I've been taking. Inaction. You can take a lot of inaction, not doing anything. So I'm taking the action now to get things how they're supposed to go.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's crazy that, like I'm looking through here and we have a blank.
That's what it is.
It's, you know, it's blank. There's nothing, absolutely nothing on it. Earlier yet there was something on top, right?
Yeah.
And that's what life is all about, is like you talk about your dream and what you want to do in the next 2 years. Yet you want to go, why wait 2 years? Why waste my time bullshitting to myself when I can actually put some kind of guideline and put into action and make it work for yourself in the next several months?
Right.
Here's the reason why, because the possibility are endless. As you can see, this blackboard here, or this whiteboard is empty. You then have the ability to look and you can create whatever it is the hell you want.
Clean slates.
A clean slate, right?
And that's the thing. You can create a clean slate every day, multiple times throughout the day.
I don't think people can see that though. With
It's
all the
hard
shit
to
that
see.
with all the shit that we go through in life,
Yeah.
we just wake up constantly every morning thinking, I have so much shit in my head. I have so much shit that I gotta take on. I gotta work this,
Well,
work
it's
that, I gotta do
thinking.
this, right?
It's thinking. So the only two things that we have control over in
Yeah.
our life are choices and action.
Ah.
That's it. You don't have any other power over anything but your choices. Your choice of how
Yeah.
do I perceive what happened to me?
That's it.
Your choice of does it hurt me? Does it inspire me? Does it make me angry? Whatever. Does it make me love? And then the actions that you take. When you perceive disappointment, when you choose to be disappointed, do you take the action of succumbing to that disappointment, or do you take the action of getting over it, overcoming it, and making a new decision to find your fulfillment as a result of your disappointment?
That's it.
It's choices and actions. That's all we have.
100%, right? We're going back to the clean
Choose
slate,
your
right?
clean
Choose
slate.
your clean slate every morning. And what that means for me is that you get to wake up and you get to rediscover who you are in a brand new mindset that you get to, again, work your own magic. When I say work your own magic, you get to determine what you're going to do in the next few hours, in the next few days that's going to change the way you've always been, right? Let's just say, I want to love more. Put something in front of that, what love is, redefine what love is, take the action to make it happen, and actually practice what love is.
How do you discover what love is?
You're going to have to constantly redefine for yourself what it is and ask people what love is for them. Because your love is completely different from yours. My wife's love for me is completely different than how I have it.
Yeah.
So I always had it that the way that I show my love is I go to work, go to work, go to work, go to work, and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way that my wife sees love.
Right.
Right? My wife sees love is that I get to come home, I get to hold and play with the kids, I get to take them out to dinner, I get to spend time with them, quality time with every single one of them. And I just have it as different. It's only in the last few years where I discovered that my love and their love is what makes it happen.
Yeah.
In a conjunction, not what I just feel is love.
Right.
I have my own little things that I know, like being by myself is love.
Right.
But that only happens in 15 minutes.
Now,
But a whole love in the whole,
right.
it's workability.
Right. Workability. So would you consider that most people can love completely, but their love is the most selfish act there is?
Yeah, right?
Now, I can even speak for myself. My selfish love has always been, I love this person so much that I'm going to act, all I'm thinking about is myself. All I'm thinking about is myself and the actions that I perceive love, the way that I perceive love. So everything that I do, I'm being selfish in the way that I love.
That's it.
And to discover that you can't completely love unless you love selflessly, giving up all your selfishness, that's a tough one to take on.
Yeah, in talking about love and being selfish, I mean, when you talk about vulnerability, that, my friend, is love. When you're able to share all the pieces, the small pieces that's working, and the humongous pieces that's not working.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, telling one on yourself.
Yeah.
Right? It's sharing the small things that you would hide away in your fear. It's sharing that you get to rediscover who you are and rediscover what love is.
Right.
Love is forgiving.
Forgiving.
Right? It's very forgiving. As long as you're able to fess up to love.
Right.
Like all the negative stuff. When negative stuffs come out in a positive way, it turns into love.
True.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense when I say when negative comes out in a positive way? So your negative thoughts about somebody else that's going, like my wife, when the negatives comes out and I get to say it in a way that this is how I feel and this is how I see it.
Right.
And we can have a discussion about my thoughts, then in that realm of calmness becomes peace.
Yeah.
And love.
When you find understanding through a pathway of adversity,
Woo!
that understanding is so much more appreciated.
That's it. So the conversation today is just to touch upon small things that we're just talking about. It's not saying that what we have here is the answer. What we're trying to say, this is what we get to constantly work on for each other and for those who are around us. You know, and what we're looking for is to explore what it is that you're going through in life, that we can all sit down and have a conversation for you to discover. And like Ignacio, to give you that fulfillment, whatever that is for you, is finding out what matters to you, and that we can work around that realm and have you discover what's beyond that.
Quit lying to yourself.
And that's the truth, right? Like,
Quit lying to
we
yourself.
go around life constantly bullshitting to ourselves and lying to ourselves about who we are.
And then we spend most of our time convincing other people of the bullshit.
Yeah,
If
100%, right?
I can convince everybody else the lies that I told myself, it becomes truth, doesn't it? Isn't that how it works? I think I read that in a book somewhere.
Yeah, but you know what? Most people walk around with their lies and not realizing they're lying to themselves.
It's blocks.
All right, now I'm just going to give you this. We have like a few minutes. We're only going to do 30 minutes today. Okay, like my business was just ready to get shut down.
Uh-huh.
Like my studio, both of my studios was getting ready to shut down. And for a decade, I walked around saying that I was fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, making, you know, a certain amount of money per month, I'd be okay with it. And when I was making less, I just pretended that I was still making enough. And I told everybody everything was fine.
Yeah.
And it was the constant saying for me, everything is fine, that made me, hey, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Until the landlord said,
Pay me that money.
Pay me that money. And with that realization, I then took a look at what I was doing, having the integrity to say what's so. And when I get to say what's so and what was truly going on and stop lying to myself, then I was able to take a look and create with this clean slate, right? I then take on with that and create something completely different and lived into it. In other words, I put in things that were missing and put in other things that could make finance come in and have people be responsible for who they are, and for me to be responsible for who I am and what I do. And it took 2 weeks for that to happen. And within those 2 weeks, things happened.
Yeah.
It's just I had to stop lying to myself. Give up lying to
I
myself.
think that's it.
That's
so,
it.
I guess in closing, I guess we should let these people go, huh?
Yeah, you just got a whole minute.
In closing, where are we at? Who are we? What do we have? We have choices and actions. And we have to stop lying to ourselves.
That's it.
We've got to get rid of our bullshit.
Bullshit.
And we got to create the clean slate.
Woo!
So we encourage you to create your clean slate today, whatever that is, on one topic of your life. Create your clean slate. Make the choice of what you're going to do with it, and then take the action.
That's it. You know, I appreciate you guys listening. Listen, life is yours.
Life is yours.
Happiness is yours. Your dreams are yours. Everything is possible if you take that chance. And through that chance, you'll make it happen.
Thanks for your time, homie.
Thanks a lot, brother. Awesome time as always. Love you all.